Alright, so starting off with the kettlebell, what you're going to do is you're going to basically just like a deadlift, okay? You're going to sit back, okay, so hips go back, knees are just slightly bent, and you're going to push off, throw your hips forward, okay, and raise up with the bell. That's how you usually start off with the bell, alright? The next part is swinging. When you swing it, Zach, if you can just turn this way, so facing me. So if you take a look at the way Zach is facing, okay, when he starts to swing right now, his hips are going to go straight back and forward. And just powerful hips. He's going to pop back, pop forward, okay? So everything goes back and forth instead of a squat. So Zach, can you demonstrate a squat for us? So Zach squats right now and raises up with the bell. So you're going to squat, Zach, and then you're going to raise up with the bell. Just a shoulder raise. That's a totally different exercise, alright? And that's usually what you see when people talk about swings. In swings, it's a full body motion, okay? So your hips contact, and as your hips hit, okay, that's what raises the bell. So the bell is propelled up through the hips, okay? So he connects right about here. So as gravity starts coming down, he connects with the hips, and that's what's going to raise up the bell. Notice, he's not controlling the bell on the way up or down, okay? He's guiding it, but he's not controlling it, all right? It's a totally different type of movement. So that's the two-handed swing. All right, so the second progression for that is a single-hand swing, all right? It's the same technique, okay? But what you're going to do is you're going to grab on. So this part, these are the horns, okay? You're going to grab, Zach's going to grab on. If he's using his right hand, he's going to grab onto the right side of the horns, okay? He's going to pick the bell up like we showed before, and now right from here, using the hips, he's going to explode out, all right? Notice, again, he pops through the hips, and that's what raises the bell, okay? The bell gets propelled through the hips. Notice, his knees are hardly bending, okay? He's getting very little knee bend. It's mostly a back and forth motion, okay? So, that's one-handed, okay? Now what he's going to do is he's going to switch it over, and now he's going to go to the left hand. So what happens is when you hold on to the bell that way, it's easier to switch it off. So again, notice his body goes forward, he explodes through the hips, okay? Going back and forth, not up and down. Okay, so even though you're activating all the different muscle groups, you're not raising it specifically with your shoulders, and you're not coming down specifically with your legs. Alright? So that is a single hand. So we did the two-handed swing, we did the single-handed swing, and now we're going to do the alternating swing. Alright? The main thing here is, once again, you want to grab the bell by the side of the horns. The reason why you do this is when you hand off the bell, okay, you always hand the bell off at the top, okay? So when Zach's going to hand it off right now, notice there's room on the horns, okay? If you grab by the side of the horns, slightly to the side of it, you have more room to switch off. A lot of people, what they'll do is, so Zach, if you can demonstrate, if they grab on and they try to hand it off at the middle, okay, it's a lot harder, okay? Because your hands are going to get stuck, and then you have to let go of the bell, and if you're not advanced enough, that might be too hard, okay? So that is the alternating swing. You're going to raise up. As you raise up, okay, you grab on, put it back down. So Zach, if you can do it one more time. The other thing is, notice, his arm, as he swings back, it's going to come up when he goes to alternate. So as he swings up, the other arm, the opposite arm, grabs on, okay? Because what happens is if you hold that back arm behind you and wait till the bell gets up to the top, you're losing that momentum, okay? So you definitely don't want to do that. You want to make sure to hand it off at the top and have the other arm swing with you as you're alternating. Thank you, Zach. So that is the alternating swing. The second part of it is high pulls, okay? So what Zach's going to do is two hands on, just like he did before. He's going to grab onto the bell. We're going to do, there's two ways to do these high pulls, okay? You can do swinging high pulls, or you can do squatted high pulls. Either way, you're exploding through the hips, okay? It's just like you're about to jump out of the seat, okay? So you're coming down through the squat, and just like you're about to jump up, but you never actually jump, okay? So Zach's going to demonstrate the squatted high pull first, okay? So he's going to squat down, raise it straight up, and he's just going to come straight up. But he's going to explode up through the hips. Alright? So notice, he comes down, and he still is exploding up through the hips to allow it to come up, alright? So that's the first one. That's the squatted one. Then, you can also do the swinging high pull. So it looks like this. He's going to swing and pull straight up. So that's it. So notice he's pulling up right about here, okay? So right about here he starts to pull up. If you start pulling it out all the way, you're not going to be able to get the same type of movement in the swing as well as the high pull, okay? Going straight in, right up. Elbows come straight up to the top, and that's the main thing. So you want to get your elbows nice and high up there, arms are down here, okay? You don't want to be doing this, alright? So that's the high pull with two hands. The next part of this is the single high pull, okay? So single-handed high pull. Again, grab it on from the side, okay? Zach's going to grab on, he's going to come out of the deadlift, right? Now from here, he's going to come straight up.
Squat?
Yep, so you're going to squat down and explode straight up. Good. Coming straight up. So there's he's squatting, letting the bell just fall straight down, not hitting the floor. And 2, 1. Good. Now he's going to switch sides, do the exact same thing, except for this time, he's going to swing it and high pull, okay? So, there you go. Good. So swing and high pull, okay, or the squat and high pull. You can do either one. It's still a kettlebell exercise. The swing and high pull is obviously a little more advanced, but once you get it, once you feel comfortable doing it, it's actually a little easier. So just to conclude the video, though yes, we did this video to kind of as a teaching aid, it's very important that you meet with somebody that knows how to use the kettlebells so they can point out the little tiny things that you might be doing wrong. If you're in the Voorhees area, Voorhees, New Jersey area, come on by. It's on the house for the first one, okay? We'll go through the swing, go through the pull. Now, how do you choose your kettlebell? For guys, 35-pound kettlebell, okay? For women, you're looking between 15 to 20 pounds. This is an 18-pound kettlebell right here. Do not use a kettlebell that's too light, because then you're losing technique. You're going to overswing. Once you overswing, you're losing the effectiveness of the workout, or the exercise. So those are just a few of the breakdowns there. And finally, just what we talked about earlier, your hands placement, okay? When you're doing the alternating swing, make sure your hand goes on the side, okay? On the side, not this way, because then it's too hard to grab onto the horn, okay? So, thank you, and we'll see you next week.